Welcome to Liquid channel. Let's we see Imam and I by Amitav Ghosh. Let's we see the summary of this prose. Introduction. The title essay The Imam and I brings out the pathos of two civilizations, one of ancient Egypt and the other of India, weaving with each other to lay claims to violence of the West. Khamees innocent. The essay Imam and I describes the events of Khamees. Imam and I. Khamees, a village man of Egypt, was deeply worried about his childlessness. With the compulsion of his father, he has married and does not have a child. Khamees has insisted his friend to invite Imam for his home to cure his wife's issues. He has also added that since Indian is a foreigner, Imam would listen to his words. Imam's sense of sarcastic. Imam, a religious leader, has deliberately ignored to talk Indian at first. He has sarcastically criticized the Indian that Indian does not know the Arabic language. He has criticized that English is the easiest language to learn. There is no use of English language. Imam prime contentions against India or the Indians worships cows and burn their dead. Imam expects the narrator to raise his voice against the practice of India because these practices are primitive and backward custom. He has also raised the question to the narrator that how Indians can progress with this practice. When the narrator gives his answer about Western culture, Imam has scornfully called Indian as a liar. In the course of conversation, Imam is furious that the Egypt are second only to West and they have guns and bombs better than India. Imam is a old-fashioned village man who always believes that their custom is good and appropriate. Course of conversation of narrator. The narrator, Indian, is a doctor, a student of University of Alexandria. He writes his own English language to help Khamees to the narrator, talks to Imam as an expatriate. He has not raised the voice against the false accusation of Imam. In a controlled manner, he has replied the Western have electric furnace to burn their dead. In the course of conversation, he has shouted to Imam that India had all those guns and bombs. They are better than Egypt in advancement. When the narrator is accused as a liar, he reacted that Imam did not know nothing about advancement. India has a nuclear explosion and Egypt needs 100 years to match the power of India in advancement. India is the one who is person has got the first hand experience in Europe. He says that West means only science and tanks and guns and bombs. European, the Indians were also advanced technology. Indians worship a cow and why do they burn the dead? He states that the European were advanced in science and technology. They did not practice such customs and why the Indians were doing. As Ghosh has travelled Europe, Imam asked him to raise his voice against such primitive practice in his homeland. Ghosh replied that even the Europeans burned the dead in electric furnace and like the Europeans, the Indians were also advanced in education. Indians had a nuclear explosion too. As an argument was going on, many people gathered to see the argument. By understanding the situation, Khamees took Ghosh home. Amitav Ghosh makes a connection between language and identity of Indian. From the words of Khamees fathers, we can easily understand that India has a long history. The Indians are tall and dark and they are the most generous people in the world. From the argument between religious leader and an academic, both of them are talked about Western culture by comparing their own country. Amitav Ghosh makes a connection between language and the identity of Imam cannot use his language because the language of Alexandria is dead. For an educated outsider, Imam must use universal language for knowledge and technology. Since many of villagers have been exposed to outside world, culture, identity are put in a question. Ghosh considered himself as a conspirator. Ghosh looked at their conversation as a climb to the technology of modern violence. He understood that through they both belongs to different countries, they both were traveling towards the west, and for everyone west means science and guns and bombs. But their civilizations are older and they are known for their rich culture and tradition, which gave importance for humanity. Contradictorily, now they both are fighting to establish their superiority in terms of violence. He felt upset about their controversy as they both broke the harmony of people had once in spite of difference. Both of them looked at the West of developed in the terms of weapon. In conclusion part, later at Khamees' house, Ghosh considered himself as a conspirator in the betrayal of history. Khamees took him home and comforted by stating that he would like to visit India later, but he concluded with a request of burying him, then burning if he dies in India. This essay presents the transformation of ideology in the course of time. Earlier development means something related to characteristics and humanity, whereas at present advanced development is seen in the association with weapons.
இந்த வீடியோ உங்களுக்கு பிடிச்சிருந்தா மறக்காம லைக் பண்ணுங்கள், ஷேர் பண்ணுங்கள், கமெண்ட் பண்ணுங்கள், சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணி கூட இருக்க பெல் ஐக்கானையும் ப்ரெஸ் பண்ணுங்கள். தேங்க்யூ ஃபார் வாட்சிங்.